Hi, I'm Lori with Healthy Farm Living. Today I'm going to share with you a very simple red beans and rice recipe, which we are going to use actually cowpeas that we harvest from our garden area instead of red beans, but I normally do make this with red beans. So what I have here is I do have a cup of the cowpeas, or normally it would be red beans, that I did soak overnight. So I'm gonna go ahead and first strain those. And I also have some chicken stock that I'm going to use that I made here from our chickens that we raise here at the farm. And I'm gonna add a ham hock in there, which is from one of our pigs that we harvest here from the farm as well. And I do have a couple of garlics, again from the farm, some bay leaf from the farm, and then the onion is actually not from the farm. So I'm gonna use a half an onion as well. And then I will do some dashes of some hot sauce in there to go with it. So what I'm gonna do is I am gonna do this in the crock pot. So I'm gonna grab the crock pot, we'll start getting stuff put in there. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add the beans that I just strained into the crock pot. Now I did use 1 cup of beans. Normally I would use about 1.5 cups. So you can do anywhere from 1 to 2 cups of beans. Then I'm gonna add in the ham hock right in the middle of that. Go ahead and throw in my bay leaves. Then I need to dice up the onion to get in there. If I don't have fresh onion on hand, I have used just the dried onion chips as well, which it'll work just fine also. I'm gonna get those added in to the crock pot with the beans and ham hock. All right, now I gotta go ahead and peel the garlic since I didn't do that in advance. Now that I got those peeled, I'm gonna go ahead and just mince those up. I did end up with 3 good sized garlics here. I usually use anywhere from 3 to 5. Now we'll go ahead and add that to the crock pot with the other ingredients. Now I'm gonna add my chicken stock in here. I usually use anywhere from 1 to 2 quarts. Just wanna make sure those beans are covered by a good inch, inch and a half. I'm gonna do a splash of hot sauce in here. Now we're gonna get this started. I'm going to cook it on low for about 8 hours. Then we'll come back and we will get the rice made and get all the ham hock shredded up and put together. This has been cooking for about 8 hours now. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the ham hock out, let it cool slightly, and then go ahead and get that shredded up. I did go ahead and pull all the bones and fat off of the meat. So I just have the meat here. I'm gonna go ahead and get that shredded up and we're gonna add it to the beans. We're now ready to add the meat to the beans. I am going to pull the 2 bay leaves out that I had in here, and then we'll get this added. Now this is a lot more meat than you would get on a ham hock that you buy from the store, since we did have this one cut from our pigs that we raised here. You could always do a ham shank from the store. That will have a little bit more meat on it for you. I'm gonna give it a good stir. I'll show you how this looks and then we'll get the rice ready. I've got my rice cooked. I did do brown rice. That's what we prefer just because of the health benefits of brown rice versus the white rice. But you can use whatever rice you prefer. So now now we have Dwayne here with us, and we are going to give this a taste.
It looks really good. So these are our cowpeas.
These are our cowpeas that we harvest from the garden beds.
All right, and it's our pork.
It is our ham hock from the last round of pigs that we had processed.
Very good. Is there anything else in here that's ours?
The chicken stock was made from the chickens from the farm that we had the carcasses for, and we had the garlic was from our garden beds.
Garlic as well.
And the bay leaves were actually from our tree at the old farm that we dried.
Very good. So a lot of the ingredients in here we actually were able to raise or grow ourselves.
Correct. Yeah, the only thing was the
Rice.
and the onion.
Very good. So actually the rest of it's ours.
And the hot sauce.
Oh yeah, we haven't done hot sauce before. Okay, so now we get to try it?
Yep.
Do I get to try the first bite?
Yes.
I'm sure you're jealous. That's really good. I'm talking with my mouth full. Wow.
Is it good? And I explained earlier that this is a lot more meat than the ham hock from a store would give you.
Yeah.
Since it was ours, I believe they do it to where it's the ham hock and the ham shank together.
Right.
So it's not just the ham hock.
Right. Some of the beans. That's really good.
And I didn't have to add any additional salt because of the chicken stock and the ham hocks.
Wow, that is amazing. That is so, so good. And the beans, so the beans, they're a little smaller than red beans. So more like a navy bean, or I guess more like a black-eyed pea.
Yeah.
So you can kind of tell, because I guess they are technically black-eyed peas, but you can kind of tell, but it's not quite as thick of a skin, so they break a lot easier. And I remember we had this before, and it does kind of taste almost a little more green with the beans.
Yeah, I think just because it's so fresh and hasn't been sitting for so long.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things for us when we were trying to figure out cowpeas is, do we bother? And we've even had that question before, is do you bother with shelling all those beans? And I can tell you, I think so, because when you buy beans in the store, you really don't know how long they've been sitting in that bag. They were probably sitting on a shelf somewhere. It could have been years ago. So to have something that just came out, some of these beans just came out of the shell this weekend.
Yes.
So just a few days old, or a few days out of the shell, and they were actual green beans a couple weeks ago. So, but yeah, really, really good. Oh my goodness, honey, this is great. It's dinner time, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, good. So obviously for us, we have wine with dinner. So we have this that you made today with a lot of things that are ours, and we have our own wine. So what kind of wine are we going to pair with this tonight?
I was going to do blackberry wine.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
So especially our last blackberry wine was a little bit on the light side, but still kind of a darker color, almost like it almost looks to me similar to the fig wine, but yeah, that'll pair really, really nicely with this. So I'm excited. I think it's time to eat.
Okay. So I just want to thank you for joining me today, and if you have any comments, questions, leave them below, and just remember, as always, be farm healthy.